In our regular cycle of Torah readings, we find ourselves in the book of Bamidbar. The Israelites are literally and figuratively wandering in the wilderness, Bamidbar. Imagine it for a moment. It is rugged and dry and dangerous and lacking for food and water. It is a treacherous time. They don't know when their wandering will end or what their lives will look like when it does. Many times they dream of their lives back in Egypt, a time when their lives were at least predictable and known. And many times in the wilderness, they revolt and they challenge their leaders for leading them into danger, into the unknown, into poverty. Many people die in the wilderness because of their carelessness, their anger, and their lack of faith. I'm sure you understand the metaphor the Torah is providing for our lives today in 2020. In the days of COVID-19, we feel like we are all wandering Bamidbar in the wilderness. We are dealing with a virus that can be dangerous for many people, although some will recover. It is a time of scarce resources. We were all jarred by seeing empty grocery shelves, not being able to get the basic things we need for our homes. Rather than wandering, though, we are sheltering in place, literally bound to our homes, unable to wander, unable to visit our loved ones, unable to attend worship services in our beautiful sanctuary, unable to go to work. And just like the Israelites in the desert, we see that some people are revolting. They have become frustrated because they can't wander, because their lives don't feel like their own, and they are unable to do the things they want and need to do. They feel trapped. They are in need of resources. They are unsure about their future, and they are afraid. The book of Bamidbar is also known as Numbers because the Israelites are asked to take a census of each tribe in order to determine the number of men who can bear arms. That number, according to chapter 1, verse 46, is 603,550. This number doesn't represent the women, the children, or the elderly. It doesn't represent the vulnerable members of the community, only those who can defend it if necessary. Today, in 2020, we hear a lot of numbers. According to the CDC, the total number of COVID-19 cases in the United States as of this morning is 1,698,523. The number of deaths is 100,446. In California, the number of cases is 98,983, and the number of deaths is 3,884. There are more than 36 million people in the United States who today are unemployed. I have been working from my home for about 73 days, about 10 weeks. I haven't seen my mom at Bubby and Zadie's for about 12 weeks. Tomorrow is her 79th birthday, and I will wave to her through a window. Here are some other important numbers for this time. We have just completed the counting of the Omer, 7 weeks, 49 days. From Passover until now, we counted up to 50. We counted up to Shavuot. We went up, we ascended the mountain, and we received the 10 commandments. We celebrate the Israelites receiving the Torah at Mount Sinai, and we celebrate our receiving of Torah. From generation to generation, from the wilderness of the desert to the wilderness of the diaspora, we continue to hand down the Torah to our children. We continue to educate the next generation of Jewish families and Jewish leaders. this year and every year at this time, we rededicate ourselves to the study of Torah as it remains more relevant than ever. It speaks to us loudly with the lessons from our history. We hear the voices of our ancestors who also lived through plagues and sickness and wilderness, and who continued to teach our values to the next generation so that they too can live and love and prosper despite hardship, despite fear, and despite times of unknowing. The Torah continues to remind us, when we need it the most, how to behave during these challenging times. The special reading for Shabbat, second day Shavuot, tomorrow morning, includes a passage from Deuteronomy chapter 15, verses 7 through 8. It says, "If there is a needy person among you, do not harden your heart and shut your hand against your needy kinsman. Rather, you must open your hand and lend him sufficient for whatever he needs." Today, there are so many among us who have lost their jobs or whose small businesses are shuttered. The needs are great, and those of us who can help must help. According to Song of Songs Rabbah, God said to the Israelites, "I will give you my Torah, but bring me a guarantee that you will keep it, and then I will give it to you." And they said, we will keep it because of our ancestors. But God said, "I find fault with Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov. Bring me something else to assure me you will keep my Torah." And the people said, "We will keep it because of the prophets." But God said, "I find fault with the prophets. Bring me something else to assure me you will keep my Torah." And the people said, we will give you our children." And God replied, "For the sake of your children, I will give you my Torah." Here is one last number for you. Teaching Torah has been my blessing for 25 years. Engaging the next generation in Torah is to experience minds expanding and hearts opening. Helping children understand that Torah is everlasting and ever relevant is sharing both the past and the future simultaneously. The children truly do represent our future, the future of our congregation, the future of the Jewish people. Our young students, whose eyes light up when they read the Shema and the V'ahavta for the first time, our B'nai Mitzvah students, who with grace and poise teach us their Torah and wow us with their liturgical skills. Our teens, who are taking their Torah out into the world, becoming leaders in national and international USY. From all of these students, I learn the beauty of Torah and that its never-changing words teach us lessons for every age. May we continue to learn the Torah that our ancestors taught about caring for others and staying true to our values. May our study of Torah lift us and give us hope and strength, especially during this time of plague and uncertainty. May each of you stay well and find comfort in your homes. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechiyanu v'kiyamanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh. Praised are you, Spirit of the universe, who keeps us alive, who sustains us with nourishment, both literal and figurative, and brings us to this moment. Hag Sameach and Shabbat Shalom.